Now.
This is about incompetency. It's not about ideology, or it's not about.
Oh my goodness! We're just going to get some help here for Cameron. Let me come back to Lydia while we get some help for Cameron here. Lydia, the President. We're going to go to a break right here. We'll be right back.
But actually, we're seeing more incidents, are we not, in younger people, which is surprising.
We are, and this is kind of emerging right now, and there are risk factors, starting from environment, starting from multiple alcohol, smoking, but also it is the fact that we can detect cancers way more efficiently today than we could do it years ago.
I am 73 years old. Life expectancy for men is 76 years. Life expectancy for women is 81 years. I figure if I transition.
All right, welcome, Kate Dalley Show. That was Andy. I think Andy Huggins on the end of that. Boy, that was, well, you could transition, gain more years. I'm just saying, it's an idea. We'll throw that out there. Also, I just wanted to mention that Pfizer clip in the middle. I don't know if you guys caught it, but just real quick, the Pfizer clip was very interesting. This was the CEO of Pfizer. Listen carefully when he's confronted with the news that younger people have this huge spike in cancer. He admits it, but here's the reasons why.
Actually, we're seeing more incidents, are we not, in younger people, which is surprising.
We are, and this is kind of emerging right now, and there are risk factors, starting from environment, starting from multiple alcohol, smoking, but also it is the fact that we can detect cancers way more efficiently today than
ever since
we
2020.
could do it years ago.
Oh my gosh, ever since 2020. Don't you just love that news? Don't you just love how they're trying to sweep it under the carpet and say that, it's smoking? Really? Okay. And alrighty then. And then, of course, that was Cameron, the newscaster over at Fox News, fainting on set. There's been a lot of that in the last 4 years, you guys have noticed, right? Since the shots. We didn't have anybody sort of peeling off all the time on camera. But, that happened, I think, a couple days ago. So anyway, welcome to the show. I've got Melissa Smith. I've got Midwest Melissa on with me. How are you?
Oh, well, after listening to that, I'm just angry.
Yeah.
I'm just angry.
I know.
Every single time. You know why we have more autism now? It's because we're better at being able to detect it.
Yeah,
and
although
that's always the excuse, no matter what.
Although there's nobody around that I see from 50 on with huge autism. Do you see that in people? I don't.
Well, yeah. Remember, I'm Midwest Melissa, right? And I am surrounded by Amish on all sides.
Right. Yeah.
North, south, east, and west. I drive through Amish communities. The Amish do not vaccinate, and they don't have any autism.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's just because we don't track it or we don't look for it.
And no SIDS.
No. And they did not take COVID, the COVID vax either. And they don't have people just dropping dead at, heart attacks either.
Yeah.
They don't have people like out in the fields with their horses just falling off the plow.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's because we're not good enough at detecting it.
I have to laugh because it's so insane. It's so insane. That's the CEO of Pfizer. Anyway, I don't.
Well,
I just have no words.
The CEO of Pfizer has already established his reputation, has he not?
No, I know. We're not doing anything about that. Sad news. But yeah, it's insane. By the way, I finished my first ebook. I'm taking what I'm doing instead of writing a book. I started on that and I figured, you know what? I'm going to do it all by topic in ebooks, and it's a quick read and it's dialed into the information, and I will let you know where to get that day after tomorrow. And it's I'm just going through them right now and finishing them. So lots of ebooks I'm going to be handing out. That way you can take the information from the show that's been really vital and important, and you can share it with people, or you have it in written form. So and it helps the show. So there you go. So that'll be over the next couple of days. I'll be letting you know where to get that, and most likely on my website. Okay, Midwest Melissa, you were gone last week.
I was.
Yeah.
And we were attending a funeral of a friend, and I just wanted, a funeral always makes you kind of reflective anyway. And so one of the things that, aside from the fact that it makes you reflect on just how fragile life actually is,
right?
I really wanted to pay a little bit of a tribute to the man that we just lost. Now, he did actually just die of a heart attack, an unexpected heart attack at 60 years old, unvaccinated. I want to preface it that way. But he was a genuinely good, honest, decent man. And I've been trying ever since to figure out exactly how to put it.
Right.
And I finally came up with this. When Alexis de Tocqueville came and wrote Democracy in America, he described Americans this way. He said they were relentless in the midst of abundance, always trying to improve upon things, a sense of self-reliance, and a belief that through hard work and association, one can better oneself and one's community. And that's the man that we just lost. He was a farmer in Ohio, 1,000 acres under his stewardship. And he was a kind, loving, generous, decent man who was smart. He, studying, a man of scripture, studied the Bible, was a good man to his 2 daughters. And it just has made me think how, if we were more like him, how much different the country would be. And I think it has to do, honestly, with being people of the soil. This is somebody who understood that you reap what you plant. And he just planted good things in his life, in his world, in his community, and on his farm.
I love that.
And you don't find so many of those people around. They're more rare than I would like. Now, I will tell you this. The testimony to what a good and decent and honorable man is in his family and in his community. And we watched as people showed up to help his family out of nowhere. Literally 2 days. I think it was 2 days after, 3 days after he passed away, the other farmers in the area were in their family kitchen making plans of how to get the rest of his acreage planted for his now widow. Nobody told him to do it. Nobody called him and said, oh, the government wants you to go, whatever. She is, in the midst of just a big panic. And while they were sitting there at that kitchen table, making plans for who's going to plant which portions of their farm to get the rest of the stuff in the ground for this spring. There were 3 dump trucks arrived with a team of guys with their own rakes, and re-graveled their driveway because they knew a lot of people were going to be coming to call at the house.
Jeez.
There were 400 people. Literally, people came from counties away to his funeral. The dinner, the funeral dinner afterwards, was sponsored by the church that he attended. And they fed over 100 people who were his closest friends and family.
Wow. What a good man.
That's a testimony to a man who was Tocqueville's guy. He he had served his community in he did some kind of surveying or work on drainage, but a municipal county level thing.
Right.
He was innovative in his agriculture. He was good to his family. He was a man of the Bible. What more could you ask for? And I don't say that, sometimes when somebody passes away, you just think, oh, now is the time to put the nicest face on it. But that's not putting any kind of face on it. And if I told him that I was talking about him in this way, he would say, I'm sure, well, I'm not that great.
Right.
I'm just like
Humble.
everybody else.
Very
I know who I am. So we need to remember, all the East Coast and West Coast libtards that just think they've got it all sewn up, that they know how to live and they know how to tell us, all the rest of us, how to live.
Right.
This is what you find in flyover country.
I love it. What a great tribute, Melissa. And you're
good,
right.
honest, decent people who know what their values are and deliver
salt
on
of the earth. Salt of the earth. Some of the best people I know and have ever known are ranchers and farmers.
Exactly.
I know. I'm with you.
Even now, it just kind of makes me choke. It makes me choked up.
You know what? I can understand why, and it's a good reminder for everybody. The time here is short, and what are we going to do with it? And I think things are worth standing up for. I'd hate to have to meet my maker and be on the other side of destroying this country piece by piece. I'd rather be on the side of doing what I could do to save it, and at least say I lent a hand. But I look at people's lives, and I'm thinking, you know what? They're over in a blink, and don't you want to have something at the end of that life, just like this friend of yours? What a tribute, right? What a tribute. And
it was. And
as long as we're in the service of others, and as long as you remember God is at the helm, and you have that secure belief, and you conduct your life in a moral way.
I think sometimes we get carried away thinking that our lives have to be big and splashy, and we have to do amazing things, and we have to lead a cause. And
right.
And no, we don't.
Just lend a hand.
We have to take care of our families. Yeah. We have to be wise over the stewardship that God has given us. And we have to be kind and loving.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this too, Kate, you would have loved this guy. The only time I ever heard him say something bad about somebody was about politicians. I have no love for them.
The people I can't stand most on the earth. Right. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't have anything good to say. Yeah, not a good thing. I've been in constant contact with them for 14 years, and all I can tell you is they're the scum of the earth. And that's sad. I know it's so sad, but you've just never seen such horrible behaviors when you have to witness up close and personal your local politicians, county politicians, state politicians. Ugh. All right, be right back with Midwest Melissa. Don't go anywhere.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
I'm a mess. My baby's gone. Grab a dirty shirt with a hole in a stain. Never would have let me leave the house this way. But today, my baby's gone.
Here's a little Kip Moore for you.
She's gone.
Welcome back to the show. I've got Midwest Melissa on, and I just wanted to mention something about soil, actually. It was referenced in the last segment of the show. But soil in of itself, I had the soil guy on, Pat, the UFC fighter, and if you go to his website, soilsavior.org, you join a free membership to buy the stuff to make your stuff grow like crazy. And the reason he had to do that was because he has been attacked so much for coming out with this product. And so it's a free membership, and they even had to go under kind of like this religious sort of nonprofit thing in order to stop with the attacks. And Anyway, check it out. I don't get anything for you doing that. I'm just mentioning it to you as a public service because I want your gardens to grow with minerals and I want you to get a product like this. So soilsavior.org. I had him on the show. Everybody enjoyed that hour with him. And I'm just letting you know that this is a great way to get things to grow in your garden, which I love. So there you go. All right, Midwest. Oh, sorry about that. Midwest Melissa. And let's go. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I came across a fascinating article from American Spectator on the codependency that exists between the media and the Democratic Party that I thought was fascinating. And here's one of the big takeaways from it. For me, it's very discouraging. We just listen to the mainstream media and we hear all this stuff that they put out there. But here's the good news. The good news is that only 22% of Americans believe that news organizations deal fairly with the news. Only 22%. That means most of us, nearly everybody you meet, 3 out of every 4 does not what they hear in the media. That's good news. That's really good news. So as we kind of approach midterms or whenever we're listening to what they're saying about Trump, the new thing now is, Trump is losing all his polling is down. Oh my goodness. Well, that may be true. Trump, his polling, and the polling is questionable anyway, but Trump is polling at 45.4%, which is down a little bit from where he was at the election. That's not that unusual.
Right.
But where are the Democrats? Where do you think they are?
Where?
They're like less than 20%.
Oh, gosh.
Chuck Schumer is only at 28%.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party, excuse me, I misspoke. The Democratic Party's rating is only at 33% against 45.4 with Trump.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
yeah. Well,
there's the more the media, what is it that causes the American public to not buy what the media is preaching at us?
Right. Well,
it is that the people have begun to distrust everything the media says now.
Good. Finally. It took long enough.
Well, I think it is good.
Yeah.
There's only 22% of people out there. When mainstream media journalists tell us that Biden is healthy, he's in better shape than we've ever seen him, and then we see him at a debate,
or his clone,
a certain share of people are going to fall away from that. They're just like, no more.
Or his body double. Yeah. Well, I'm going to call the new, what is it? The screw worm. We're going to just call it the Adam Schiff. Let's call it flesh-eating bacteria. We'll just give it a nickname. We'll just call it King Dingaling or Hormala or Adam Schiff. Just pick one. Yeah. Anyway,
when the truth begins to catch up to the lies that can't be denied anymore,
right?
So that the media has tied themselves so tightly to the Democratic Party and the Democratic goals, and they're so far out of step with ordinary Americans. The media is not doing any favors for anyone.
It's for sure the mouthpiece. I ran an AP article, their top article today, through the adjective checker because they're trying to tell you how to feel about a story. They're not actually delivering news. And it's all propaganda. 265 adjectives in one tiny little article to try to tell you how to feel about the news. That's how horrific the AP news is. That's what liars they are. It's amazing. Be right back. Kate Dalley Show with Midwest Melissa.
Well, hello, everybody. It's Annie Cyrus. Welcome to my art studio where all the magic happens. This is the station for painting, and that is the station for all the resin art I do. If you want to check out my art, all you gotta do is go to lutfstudio.com. everything, but I'm sure for this, I hope I'll see you at lutfthestudio.com.
That won't get you into his arms.
Welcome back. I'm just a wishing and a praying. I'm just hoping there's like 5,000 shots that I can get so I can be healthy. And I'm just so grateful for my government because my government wants me to have them. Okay. Said no one with a actual brain inside that little cavity up there. All right. So welcome to the show. And I have Midwest Melissa on with me, and we have a lot to chat about. I just wanted to mention allfamilypharmacy.com. Not a fan of pharma, but obviously. But ivermectin and fembenzoyl. I was just reading a story about a guy who took fembenzoyl, and it actually took out his cancer tumor. So, and it was visible on the scans. So the doctor was like, "What are you taking?" So anyway. Make sure you have this in stock at your house. All right. allfamilypharmacy.com/Kate, and then put in the code Kate10, and you'll get a discount. And then also it'll be at your door in a few days. It's a real doctor prescription. All right. Midwest Melissa, let's go.
Yeah. So we've been talking about lack of faith in government. And I've heard a little bit of blowback. RFK Jr. came to Health and Human Services with a lot of high hopes, and then he didn't come with guns a-blazing. So I had begun to hear like, well, yeah, he's not doing anything. He's just gonna, well, give the man a break. Let's see what he does. Can't do everything on the first day you're in office. So here are 10 things that RFK is actually doing and implementing right now. So this might make everybody feel a little better about things. Depends on what you eat, right?
Right.
So the first one is he has announced that they're going to get rid of artificial colors. Most people have probably already heard that before or already. So red 3, red 40, yellow 5, and blue number 1, which are linked to hyperactivity and thyroid cancer and allergies and all kinds of things. So those things are on their way out, and they're giving the food people a chance. They're giving them a little time here to regroup and figure out what they're going to do before that ban is completely in effect. But I was just in a store the other day and I thought, oh, look, they have Skittles. And I'm like, no, I don't want to eat Skittles. It's just gross.
I love dyes.
Yeah.
You can't wait to eat red dye every day. So
I do. I haven't had my quota today. So that's one thing. And that's been probably already highly publicized. But number 2, and this is also pretty well understood, he wants to limit what you can use your SNAP benefits for, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And I think the logic behind this, we need to really make sure that as we talk about these things, that people are clear. He is not saying that junk food will not be available, in case you haven't had your red dye quota today. But he is saying, if the taxpayers are paying for your food, you should have to eat healthy food, because we don't want to have to pay twice for your unhealthy lifestyle. We don't want to have to, SNAP benefits should not cover cigarettes. They shouldn't cover alcohol. They shouldn't cover things that are, sodas and candy. But if you are in a situation where you need the government to help you buy food, then you should actually be buying food with it, not all the other junky stuff.
Yeah. This is why when the churches did it solely without government involved before they came along with all their socialism, it was actually handled much more efficiently because there was so much transparency in it, and they could control that by saying, because it's coming from a church or a neighbor, hey, I want it spent on these certain items, right? So, yeah, just making that known.
That does not mean that you're not going to be able to go buy a Coke.
Yeah.
It means you're not going to be able to buy a Coke with government benefits.
Yeah.
So I as a taxpayer, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
The next one is in the same category. He's also going to discourage the use of high fructose corn syrup in schools and in government programs.
Right.
So let's not be buying, packs and packs and packs of fruit gummies to give out to kindergartners
Mm-hmm.
as their snack, because those are basically
Right.
corn syrup and food coloring,
Mm-hmm.
both of which will now be going away or being reduced. It doesn't mean they won't be there on the marketplace, but schools don't need to be buying those.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another good one.
Yeah.
The next one has to do with seed oils.
Uh-huh.
He wants to reduce and restrict the use of canola, soybean, sunflower, and safflower oil.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what should be replacing those things? Olive oil, coconut oil, and butter.
Well,
And animal fats like tallow.
yeah. Let's
We've
start with
already
McDonald's. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we're seeing a shift in some of that already with restaurants that are going back to using beef tallow.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. So it kind of proves the lie. It's just like the Biden administration, well, we can't control the border. Well, all it needed was a president that was willing to enforce it, to
Right.
stop it.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see that same kind of leadership out of Health and Human Services with RFK. I hope that sometimes all you have to do is just say, we're going to reduce this. We're not going to let it go into schools where it's being paid for with taxpayer funds.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that's going to go away of its own accord.
Well, and hopefully kids would choose not to eat the junk and the parents would choose not to buy it and eat it. So, I mean, it all comes down to our personal choice, because no matter what the government does, we're going to buy it or eat it. And it's up to us, right?
Well, and that's some of the critics of all of this. That's what they say. You're limiting the choice of poor people.
Mhm.
Well, all right. If you need government assistance, your choices are already limited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if the taxpayers are paying for it and these things are proven to be unhealthy, and they are,
Mm-hmm.
then we don't want to have to pay
Right.
for you to eat it and then pay for the medicine that helps you get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these things, if you think about them, high fructose corn syrup, and these are things that lead to, insulin resistance and obesity and, diabetes, all
Right.
things that we don't want to have to pay for it at the other end as well. So they're trying to induce people
Mm-hmm.
to clean up a little bit
Yeah.
by limiting choices in places where it seems appropriate to limit those choices.
And it is going to come out in the
Number
other end.
five.
It is going to come out
Number
in the other
five is
end, right?
interesting.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, number 5 is RFK wants ultra processed foods to be phased out of schools.
Mm-hmm.
So no more of the little frozen pizza squares,
Mhm.
no more chicken nuggets, no
Mhm.
more sugary cereal for
Right.
breakfast. And if your kid is on a free lunch program,
Mm-hmm.
why are we paying for your kid to eat, Cocoa Puffs at
Mhm.
school in the morning?
Yeah.
And then the teacher has to wrestle them down the rest of the day with sugar high.
And
all that
honestly, the
stuff.
government shouldn't be doing it in the first place. It's just, we've gotten so out of whack. And this is why all these measures are being taken too, is because the first thing we did by having government supply lunch was completely unconstitutional, right? To take our taxpayer
Right.
money and give it to people. So it's crazy. I also wanted to mention this really, really fast. Remember the CO2 pipeline, the guest I had on, Rebecca, I think it was Rebecca. Anyway, they did a movie about it. A documentary is coming out. That new big, beautiful bill that Trump is trying to tell everybody to vote for basically is the land grab of the century. It's the land grab. It's defying. It's going after eminent domain bans. It's basically overruling state routing laws to implement these pipelines. And we should all be fighting it. A lot of farmers and ranchers are fighting this. That big, beautiful bill that he keeps saying that about has some really horrific things in it that are not okay. And I hope people will really, really take a hard look at some of these things that are happening right now in real time. You can see the writing on the wall. It's all there. You can read the bill, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting because this is going to affect all of us. That bill is going to affect all of us. But anyway, be right back with Midwest Melissa. Don't go anywhere. Kate Dalley Show.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to announce the next generation of energy drinks, Rev 7. It has no sugar and no caffeine. Instead, Rev 7 uses Go BHB. Go BHB is one of the body's primary ketones, and it provides the most efficient and clean fuel that your body needs. It also helps you stay energized all day with no crashes. Not only that, it produces 3 times more brain energy than sugar, which helps boost your memory, focus, and mental sharpness. It also helps reduce stress and helps balance your mood. Rev 7 does all that while being the best tasting energy drink ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% today. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7. For a limited time, you get our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. I drink Rev 7 every day and I absolutely love it, and so will you.
Show.
I listen to the wind of my soul. Where I'll end up, well, I think only God really knows.
Welcome back. Breaking Wind with Cat Stevens. Anyway, welcome back, Kate Dalley Show. And it just never gets old, you know. The breaking news of Kash Patel saying that Epstein did hang himself. Okay. I don't know what to say. Everybody knows he didn't, but hang himself. But okay. Anyway, welcome back. I've got Midwest Melissa. Do you think Epstein hanged himself, Melissa?
No, nobody does.
Why in the world is Kash out there saying he did? Anyway,
who knows?
It's
Who
crazy
knows?
day at the news cycle. Okay, where do we start from here?
Well, I just want to finish off with RFK with 2 things that are kind of really big.
Okay.
One of them is that he intends to close the generally recognized as safe loophole for food companies, which is, it was originally intended like we don't have to prove that rice or corn is safe to eat. People have been eating it for millennium, right?
Right.
So they said, okay, you don't have to do testing on these things, but food companies have taken that out the door and down the street and around the block to say that anything they come up with, we're going to hire somebody to say, oh, you know, BHT, that's generally recognized as safe. So they're going to close that and say no more of that. You have to do third-party testing. You can't blah blah. You can't hire an expert out of your own pocket to say whatever you want them to say. That will change a lot of food ingredients here in the U.S. The other one is raw milk. He's saying that he wants to make raw milk available to consumers, human consumers, not just to pets. That raw milk offers all kinds of health benefits, and why can't people have them? So, like I said, I live among the Amish. They've got raw milk here, so
yeah,
it will be exciting to see what happens if that really comes to fruition.
Well, I mean, they're good steps, but it just reminds me of like everything that we're seeing. Okay, so why isn't he taking steps to get rid of the FDA because they're so corrupt? And why aren't we taking the health administration and the government ownership out of the hospitals instead of directing them on what to do? It's like, I just wish we were going after big things. It's just like little things it's good. I mean, I can't say it's bad. It's great. Okay, raw milk. I mean, my gosh, they demonized it on the left. But it's just, don't you just wish they were going after like some big things, getting rid of some unconstitutional things? I just...
Okay, you know, I'm from the Midwest, and we take a long view here. So, yes,
yeah.
I do want big things to happen. But sometimes you have to, you know... You have to reach critical mass, and I don't think that the country is at critical mass yet for some of those big things. And you know something else, if you want to reach those things, then it's time for us as consumers, as just citizens to begin to speak much more loudly than we do.
Yes, like I expect them next to come back with the screw worm cookbook provided to us by the CDC. Can we have a cookbook, please? Because the screwworm fly is here to stay. I mean, that's the ridiculousness that we're getting from that entire administration, right? All the time. And I just hope for big things. And I know they can be done. And It's
Well,
frustrating.
I don't know if this is helpful to add this at this point. I am reading right now the book that was written by Liz Truss, who was the very short-lived prime minister of Britain when Queen Elizabeth died. She was only in office like 40-something days. And it's very interesting to read about the pushback that she got. And she had a kind of very aggressive policy in several areas. I don't agree with all of her politics, but much of it is very conservative. And she really wanted to change things up. And until she cleared the decks, which she was unable to do actually, of some of the entrenched bureaucracy, nothing can happen. Nothing can change. Nothing can change.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. That's what I mean when I say we have to stand. If we see these as hopeful signs from RFK, let's start a letter writing campaign and encourage him to do more. These are great. We love this. Let's do more. Why are we continuing to fund the FDA at all?
Yeah.
If we don't speak, he is limited by the monolith of bureaucracy behind
the deep
him.
state.
And that's just a fact. That's a political fact.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I wish it was different. But do you know what? If you read Liz Truss, she says she was threatened when she was in office trying to make some of the changes.
Oh, I know. They all are. Even down at the state level. They all are. Yep. Yeah. It's sad.
Anyway.
All right. A couple of
do
things.
You want to take on a little bit of Gavin?
Yeah. You have a few minutes. Go for it. 2 minutes.
Yeah. So I just took a quick look at Gavin Newsom because he has political ambitions and some things that we should all. And the real question that I want everybody to ask is, if this was on Trump's pedigree, what would we hear about this person in the media everywhere? So Gavin Newsom's father and grandfather were heavily involved with Getty Oil and Getty and the Getty Foundation. And Getty has their roots in the Osage oil boom that we all saw on Killers of the Flower Moon. Right. That would be the Getty beginnings of the Getty money. And the fact that Gavin Newsom was so closely connected with that. Gavin's father, William Newsom, had a company called Trans International Computers Investment Corporation, or TCI. And he actually hired a guy named Otto von Bolschwing, who was a Nazi. Not a, like, I'm going to call you Nana Boo Boo, you're a Nazi, but like he was a member of the SS who came to the United States under Operation Paperclip. He was an actual Nazi. And they hired him to guide financial investments for their company. This guy, when it was finally revealed in like the 1980s that he had been a Nazi, he was here all that time. From 1954 all the way up until like 1981, they stripped the guy of his American citizenship. Jeez. So I'd like to know who cleared him for American citizenship to start with.
Well, they did a lot of them, and they all ended up in leadership.
Gavin Newsom's background involves people who were admirers of Adolf Hitler, like actual admirers of Adolf Hitler. He is related to Nancy Pelosi through his mother. Nancy Pelosi is his aunt. What do we suppose would happen if Trump had business dealings on his pedigree that dealt with active Nazis and investments in World War II Germany? What would happen?
I don't even know what to say other than we were sold a box of rocks on World War II too. So I don't know. It's insane. Thanks so much, Midwest Melissa, and on with Susan Reed. Be right back on the Kate Dalley Show. Don't go anywhere.
I hear every day about the products you all wish My Pillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard My Pillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use My Pillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Ideology, or it's not about.
Oh my goodness. We're just going to get some help here for Cameron. Let me come back to Lydia while we get some help for Cameron here. Lydia, the President, we're going to go to a break right here. We'll be right back.
But actually, we're seeing more incidents, are we not, in younger people, which is surprising.
We are, and this is kind of emerging right now, and there are risk factors, starting from environment, starting from multiple alcohol, smoking, but also it is the fact that we can detect cancers way more efficiently today than we could do it years ago.
I am 73 years old. Life expectancy for men is 76 years. Life expectancy for women is 81 years. I figure if I transition.
Oh man, I had to listen to it again. So funny. You know what? I did a blunder. I forgot that Susan had today off. So guess what? It's you and me, kid. This is an hour to call in and let me know what's on your mind. It'll be random hour. I have a lot of random things, and believe me, the news just piles. I mean, it piles up like you can't believe. So you can give me a call, 888-673-1450, 888-673-1450. If you're listening in the afternoon live, I invite you to call in, and I will gladly take your call. And that clip, if you're just joining me, that clip is so interesting because the first part of that was Cameron, the newscaster at I think it's Fox. She literally just fainted or had some sort of episode on air and just, went down. Anyway, I don't mean to laugh. We've seen a lot of that, right? As I said in the first hour. And then also that middle clip was Pfizer. And that was the CEO of Pfizer again, saying that, we're seeing a lot of spike in young people with cancer, but that's just because they're, smoking and drinking and, the environment. And, we can detect it now. Really? Really? Things just got that much more efficient since the shots? That's kind of amazing, the coincidence. A little quinky dink there for you. So there's that. And that was just insanity. That clip, I'm still blown away. I just have to play it for you one more time because I'm just blown away by it. This is the Pfizer CEO being questioned lately, right? That, hey, there's a lot more cancer in young people. What's going on?
But actually, we're seeing more incidents, are we not, in younger people, which is surprising.
We are, and this is kind of emerging right now. And there are risk factors, starting from environment, starting from multiple alcohol, smoking, but also it is the fact that we can detect cancers way more efficiently today than we could do it years ago.
So let me get this right. You can detect them because of the smoking and drinking that's causing them in young people. All of a sudden, a big surge. It just happens to coincide with the shots, but okay, the big surge. I didn't realize that was out there like crazy causing cancer. Did you guys? Oh, and the environment suddenly, but we really haven't seen a change in the environment. No. Have you ever been affected by climate change, which I ask on the show all the time? No. Can you tell me how you've been affected by the 50, 60 years of climate change? Negative. But just the shots came out, and so it must be the environment that's causing this cancer. It must be. Not the shots, not our precious shots. Only the environment, smoking, and alcohol. And then, of course, that is causing so much cancer that now we're just detecting it better. Okay. You know what? No tinfoil hat required. I honestly wish we should just call the show that. I swear it's not required anymore because they come out with horse crap like that. Pfizer does. And they literally say it to us and we're supposed to just go, oh yeah, that's probably it. Not a problem. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. So let me jump to this. In fact, I was going to share this with you yesterday. I had Dr. Suzanne Humphreys on the show a couple of times, and this is a great clip about tetanus because this kind of dials into things we've been told, the narratives, and then here's a dose of truth. Okay. So this is Dr. Suzanne Humphreys. Here we go.
You need rotten meat. Okay, that's how the
tetanus.
tetanus vaccine's made, with rotten meat. If anyone's worried about tetanus, what we're shown is a picture of a soldier from like the 1800s with he's naked and his back is arched. If you just Google tetanus right now and you look for images, you'll get this image. And so that's what we're told will happen if we get tetanus. It's a sure thing. You're just going to get tetanus. You're going to die. Well, the fact of the matter is that when I started doing my deep dive in World War I, look, it was fought in the trenches with horses. That's where you get tetanus from ruminant animals. It lives in their gut, then it goes in the soil, and it's just a spore. Doesn't do anything until it gets into an area that doesn't have oxygen. So you get a cut, you get a surgeon to close you up real nice without cleaning it out properly, and you're set up for tetanus, which will transform from a spore to a different kind of a microbe and start releasing a toxin that it first starts as numbness, usually in that limb. It's the extreme case is in that soldier who would have been malnourished, stressed out, probably vaccinated for smallpox before he hit the fields, and exposed to enormous amounts of tetanus, possibly gunshot wound or a slice somewhere, and then sewn up. So yeah, his nervous system could have had a real big dose of toxin and nobody did anything about it. That's the worst case scenario. You don't want that to happen. I've treated tetanus. Let's just put it that way. I've treated several cases of tetanus. One of the cases was a neurologically diagnosed tetanus. So tetanus is treatable. You can get on it early. Rabbit studies have shown that if you give vitamin C, if you have a good high vitamin C level before you put glass with tetanus spores on it inside the skin of a rabbit, that you can prevent the tetanus from happening. Even if you give the vitamin C at the time of the injury, you can prevent it from happening. If you give it after the event, the death rate goes down to very, very low, if not zero. So vitamin C is a main factor, but the biggest factor is cleaning a wound and keeping the wound open if you think it's a dirty wound, and not to close it straight up, which is why nails, stepping on a nail is the classic, because rust can kind of hold the old spores inside of it. You step on the nail, you get inoculated, and then you wait for it to heal over. Well, you have to open that wound if that's going to happen.
Yeah. So you have a high vitamin C count. Sounds like you're just fine. But isn't that the truth, though? That's Dr. Suzanne Humphreys. Isn't that the truth, though? They sell it as you will get tetanus and you will look like this picture from 100 years ago. And so you must take our shot. That's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that we aren't more curious and we're not asking more about this all along the way. Especially when they introduced their shot program to us and said, this is now your immune system in a bottle with a needle. Trust us, we're your government and we're here to help you. And now we're looking at more disease and more weird conditions than ever. It's kind of like yesterday when I mentioned eczema, and I'm like, yeah, they knew in the 40s and 50s that this was poisoning. Eczema is poisoning. No wonder the nicotine patches work, right? No wonder the nicotine patches work, because we don't have enough nicotine coming in our vegetables and fruit. We're not getting enough from that source. And honestly, we've talked about the food supply. I talked about it with our soil guy, right? Pat. And now we're looking at a situation where the nicotine patch works. And I know it sounds weird, but it works because of the fact that you're putting something into your body that actually is addressing those toxins that we're getting saddled with all the time. Because I remember the first time Dr. Artis mentioned it on the show, I literally thought it was crazy. I did. I thought it was nuts. I'm like, really? Okay. I mean, you should have seen my face. I was like, nicotine patch? Are you serious? And I'm LDS, right? So, we're known for not smoking, not drinking. Well, it has nothing to do with smoking. It has zero to do with smoking. And it has everything to do with the levels of nicotine going into, we've got these nicotine receptors that clear the cell of this, all of these chemicals and poisons and all this stuff we're getting doused with at every turn. And no wonder they work. Do you know if we didn't have all of that stuff on us all the time, because you don't have to have a tinfoil hat to understand what we're being sprayed with, what's in our foods, what we're digesting, go eat a Skittle. Tell me what you're ingesting, okay? We wouldn't need these patches, and these patches wouldn't work if that was not happening to us. They work because all of this stuff is going on inside our body. All of this stuff is happening to us. That's why they work. So you do a 7 milligram patch if you're sick. You do a 3 milligram patch every, change it out every 24 hours, right? Cut it into threes, 3 milligram if you are maintaining, okay? And then, of course, for like if you were going to work up over a month's time and you were going to go to the 21 milligram patch, then from what I've been reading and from what friends have experienced and all of that, all I have to say is that it's kind of crazy how they'll put it on something that's swollen, arthritis, you name it, and it's taking care of business, and fast, which is amazing. So I love the fact that that we have these options and that the science, real science, not their fake, contrived, bought and paid for grant science, but actual science actually tells us how to rid the cell of this and in our own bodies. So I'm loving that. And I love Suzanne Humphreys. I need to have her back on the show because she is really amazing and really can explain sort of the backdrop of the cause of real things that happen to us and what the shots kind of brought on to in our society. And I do think a lot more of our younger crowd is getting the picture. They really are. They're understanding more. They're not just handing their babies over for 6 shots right after they come out of the womb, especially the one about being sexually active. So I'm just grateful that young moms are figuring it out. Even if older people are really tied to the vaccine and shot and think all of their existence is reliant on the government selling us one of their shots. But I'm just glad that the young people are at least figuring it out because those kids are our future, right? Be right back on the Kate Dalley Show. I've got a couple of things I want to bring up. The Saudis and Kash Patel and the pipelines. Anyways, be right back. And you can call in Kate Dalley Show.
Well, hello, everybody. It's Annie Cyrus. Welcome to my artist studio where all the magic happens. This is the station for painting, and that is the station for all the resin art I do. If you want to check out my art, all you gotta do is go to LUTFstudio.com. But I'm sure for this, I hope I'll see you at LUTFstudio.com.
We do. Who keeps Atlantis off the maps? Who keeps the Martians under wraps? We do. We do. Who holds back the electric car? Who makes Steve Gutenberg a star? We do. We do. Take fish of their sight, who rigs every Oscar night. We do. We do.
I love the Deep State song. That's by The Simpsons. It's called, sorry, Who Rigs Every Oscars Night? Who makes Steve Gutenberg a star? Who keeps the electric car down? Who pledges their allegiance to the British crown? We do. So And also, who keeps the metric system down? We do. Who keeps Atlantis off the maps? Who keeps the Martians under wraps? Well, I have something to say about that, but we do. Oh gosh, so funny. So that was I think that's the Stonecutters song. It's a Deep State song. Anyway, welcome back to the show, brought to you by Canyon Media Studios, who hosts the program out of St. George, Utah, and it's nationwide. And I so appreciate you listening in. You can also catch it on X America News on X tonight, every evening at 6:30 Mountain. Also, I just wanted to mention it's also on Rumble. You can watch it on Rumble. So, all right. So, and one more thing, FIQ supplements. And I just took their cod liver this morning, and I'm telling you, it's a cod liver like pill that easily digests in your system, and they use only the best ingredients. I'm telling you, it's the best whole vitamin C, the best cod liver. Oh my gosh, they even have a bone broth one. It is amazing. And they're copper. You need to take copper because that's the orchestra maestro for all the other minerals. Okay. So make sure you're doing that too. And go to fiqsupplements.com and then just put in the code Kate. You're going to get a discount. I think like 15% off. It's amazing. And these are the best ones. The best. Stop buying them over the counter. Don't buy them over the counter. I would never buy supplements over the counter with what I know now. I love the Stonecutter song. I actually want to bring this up because I thought this was kind of interesting. It kind of tells the tale of the party system. And in the state of Utah, in which I am, I had him on the show, actually, Phil Lyman, who's running for governor. And it was so fascinating because he was basically coming out and showcasing sort of our corrupt, fraudulent ways with how our governor became our governor, which there was a tiny investigation into his signatures and said, yeah, he probably didn't get them. And he shouldn't even have been on the ballot, that he's our governor now. And Phil took it all the way to the Supreme Court, trying to fight this, trying to say, oh my gosh, look how corrupt this is. Look how corrupt our state legislature and Senate, everything is right now. And he's a really good guy. Anyway, it was so amazing to me how I saw the party rats, our own Republican Party, right, of which I'm a member because I vote in Utah, and how they came up with all these statements to make sure that that they don't want him to become the head of the Republican Party here because they know that he'll change things for the better. They know he'll at least try. And the guy that that people seem to support, all the party rats seem to support, is not that guy. That the governor loves the other guy, and the governor wants the other guy, which means that guy's going to take some pretty hefty orders, I would imagine, from the governor. And it's really kind of sad because they came out with these statements like, Phil burned bridges. I'm like, what bridges did he burn? He was trying to showcase the fraud, which everybody should have supported and helped him to do that, right? And so watching all of this play out and watching the party rats come out with these statements, like these cliche statements, and trying to discredit. And it has been amazing to watch in my state. You probably have something similar going on in yours. If you're really paying attention, you'll see how the party rats kind of gather these cliches, and then they start in with this whole campaign against somebody because, hey, they might be exposing too much corruption. Can't have that. And it's been amazing to watch. And the party system in of itself, it's so parasitic. It's so awful. And I don't know if you guys feel the same. I don't know if you feel the same. And maybe you're seeing it now for the first time and really understanding people's true colors show. It's amazing to watch. Oh my gosh. People will jump on these bandwagons. It's insane. You're right back on the Kate Dalley Show. I'll be right back. I'll take your calls.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to announce the next generation of energy drinks, Rev 7. It has no sugar and no caffeine. Instead, Rev 7 uses Go BHB. Go BHB is one of the body's primary ketones, and it provides the most efficient and clean fuel that your body needs. It also helps you stay energized all day with no crashes. Not only that, it produces 3 times more brain energy than sugar, which helps boost your memory, focus, and mental sharpness. It also helps reduce stress and helps balance your mood. Rev 7 does all that while being the best tasting energy drink ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% today. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7. For a limited time, you get our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. I drink Rev 7 every day and I absolutely love it, and so will you.
Person dead from such as plenty. No need to go get locked away.
What a nice song.
When I
Sorry.
leave your arms.
Oh, does anyone want to step inside of a big city right now? I'm just asking for a friend. I can't imagine wanting to. Ugh. Anyway, it's getting a little weird out there. Welcome back, Kate Dalley Show at your service. Susan's out today, and boy, there is a lot to chat about. Of course, I'll take your calls. I also wanted to mention mypillow.com. Go there and get those things that you would normally go pick up at the store because it helps the show and because you're going to get the most fantastic products for a really super cheap price because it's like almost 80% off right now. Just use the code Kate. Really appreciate that. I just wanted to finish my thought on the party, what the party does. It's so amazing to me because I see party rats and I'm always like, do you realize, like, are there any brain cells in there telling you that maybe something's a little off? Like every time we win, what do we actually get? Bob, a Ginsu set of knives? I mean, what do we get? So, not a lot. And it's getting so bad. So trying to diminish somebody and discredit them from getting to be the person that helms the Republican Party because they have to have a tight control over the Republican Party structure. So they have to get somebody that's going to go with whatever our sham of a governor says. And it's so wild to me that people still can't pick up on that. Here you had somebody that was actually willing to expose what was going on and expose the truth and take it all the way to court, take it all the way. And the party was nowhere to be seen. Yeah, nowhere to be seen. They just basically acted blind and deaf. They just acted like they didn't see anything for a while. And what? I'm in shock. What? Yeah. And then they go to the lengths to crucify him so that to prevent him from becoming the party chair because he may do something. Maybe he won't, but maybe he will because the guy that the governor wants isn't going to do a darn thing, right? I think his name is Axum. So it's just amazing to me to watch the antics, the tactics, the crazy, and I also just for kicks and giggles, I just wanted to throw this out there, but if you're a red community, like let's say you're mostly conservative, have you noticed people moving into your community that immediately want to run for office and they immediately want to be an influencer and they immediately are like prop themselves up as the leadership of your city, but they just barely moved there. They're just barely there. And I have to say that I've watched this happen more times than I can count. And it is amazing to me that people aren't calling that out more. It's like if I moved, let's say, to Alabama right now, I think I'd probably wait a few years before I actually even thought about running for office. And don't you need to kind of go into the landscape a little bit just to see what's going on before you would want to run for office? Unless you were told to move there to run for office. And that maybe you're a rhino, right? All along, Republican in name only, right? We see the hijacking happen. We've seen this. We've witnessed it. You take a totally red state and you turn them completely blue. Okay, if we're going to talk sides, and you change the ideology of a state by getting people to trust people in this way. And so they move into a community and they immediately start running for office and start influencing. And I'm just thinking, my gosh, where'd they come from? Over and over and over again. It's amazing to me that we're not really seeing that for what that is. Very well coordinated. I think, very well coordinated. So I just wanted to ask that because sometimes it's hard to kind of look around and analyze even your own area, no matter where you're coming from. So if you're in Nevada right now listening, or Oregon, or Alabama, Mississippi, Missouri, I just want you to kind of think about that and really sort of look around and say, okay, who's at the helm? What do they believe in? Where'd they come from? And why would you have a sudden interest in moving somewhere and going into public office right away? It just doesn't make sense. And when things don't make sense to me, I question them. We should all be very suspicious. Somebody asked me in email, how did I know COVID was a sham? Well, because I knew it wasn't happening. It wasn't happening in front of us. We need to be way more suspicious about things and at least curious, if anything, right? At least curious. Having a situation where we're not curious, where we don't ask questions, I always think of leftists. I always think of people that, when I think of people that just aren't really curious, they just aren't. Anything the government tells them, they're good. That's what's going down. So this was amazing too. So AOC. So of course, did you guys realize that she's constantly in the news, and there's a reason for that. Here was the latest, and they're actually asking these questions of the DOJ. Here we go.
Ocasio-Cortez said that she hadn't heard from the Department of Justice on potentially being referred or whether she's under criminal investigation. Do you have a response?
I have to check the Department of Justice on that.
Okay. And do you have a response in general to her saying there'd be a problem about whether if Republicans or anyone goes after these Democrats?
Look, you know what? I wish she'd do her job. She's the legislator, right? Why don't she pass some legislation and actually improve this country like President Donald Trump is already doing? I mean, I'm doing my job. Border secure.
Now, I know people's first impression is to go, oh, yes, finally. Tell AOC to go jump off a bridge, go do her job. But honestly, if I were to take that clip and really look at it with a good set of eyes, I would say, number one, the job isn't just to pass legislation. And that's what we always think it is. The job is that they're supposed to safeguard our freedoms. They're supposed to safeguard our liberty, not just pass legislation. But we get into, and this is going through the states too, we get in this mode of, if we're not busy passing legislation, we're not busy. And if we're not busy, then we're not doing a job. I'd rather have somebody sit there with their feet up, really comfortably, eating In-N-Out every single day and never passing a thing. Thank you very much. The other thing is this. Do they ever out AOC as an actress? Do they ever out her as an actress? Because she is. She was a bartender. She won a casting call. I've said this so many times on the show, and it's never outed. And what's funny is I expect it from the media, okay? But wouldn't it be kind of exciting if you heard it from anyone in government that she's an actress? Or do they just not want to shine the light on everybody else that it's an actor or actress in that role that can be told what to say and completely bought? Let me think about that. Let me ponder that for a moment. Yeah, I think that's probably why. You never hear it. Isn't that strange, you guys? Gosh, we live in weird times. We live in such strange times. We used to have to kind of, I don't know, live up to a higher standard, at least pretend that we cared about people that have invaded roles of like elected office like Congress when they're chosen by a committee, they're chosen by a group with an agenda to be the face of the congressperson. We used to pretend that didn't exist. Now we highlight it. Now we champion it. Now we're just squarely behind it. It's, man, when I talk about the weirdness of the news, that's the weirdness of the news. Like Kash Patel today saying that, yeah, he killed himself, he hung himself. Did he also remove the cameras too that were outside the cell at that particular time or get them to stop? You know, everyone else on the planet's waiting for the punchline because everyone else on the planet's like, yeah, he didn't kill himself. But isn't it funny that that's a straight news story today? Oh my gosh. I know a lot of you like Kash Patel. I get it. I'm friends with him. I'm friends with him on Facebook. Okay. But my gosh, are you kidding with this? Anyway, be right back on the Kate Dalley Show.
I hear every day about the products you all wish My Pillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard My Pillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use My Pillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all My Pillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard My Pillows absolutely free.
Big fine car. I got everything that a man could want. I got more than I could ask for.
Love it. Welcome back, Kate Dalley Show at your service. Oh, so many things to say. I do have these ebooks coming out, and they are a great way to take the information from the show, some of the most hard-hitting episodes, some of the most hard-hitting topics, and you can actually purchase these. They're fairly cheap to purchase, and you can get some for friends and family, and it's all written out for you. So that way, it's a short, easy to digest, 15 to 20 pages, covering a topic with all the things that we covered on the show, with the research, with everything, and they're awesome. So I'll be letting you know they'll appear on the website shortly, and I can't wait for you to get these because it's a way to help the show. But I've been asked to do this for a long time, and you guys, it's just hard running the show. So it takes up all my time, and it just has been not easy. And I figured out a way to make it a little easier to do. And so I'm going to push forward on that. And I'm also doing one of the ebooks on my time in radio, what this has been like for almost 15 years, this journey. So you can only imagine what's going to be in there. But it's a tell-all. So I'm just doing it in ebook form. I think it's really easy. You can get the printed copy of it, or you can just get it digitally. So there you go. They're going to be, like I said, fairly cheap to get, and it'll be a great way for you to store that information and have it. So I like that. Also, phone lines are open, 888-673-1450. Call in if you'd like to. And the other story today, you know what I feel like? Can I just tell you? Okay, guys, I feel like, remember when everybody was wearing the mask? And inside your brain, you're going, is it just me, or is everyone on the planet completely brainwashed and total morons that think that these masks are saving them from something? And they were actually doing more harm to people. But there were people that actually wore them all the time. And it's kind of like the dog that goes, with their little head, cocked, little head. That's how I feel with the news all the time right now, because I'm like, this is so in front of our face. It's so obvious and it's so bizarre. So Trump gets the red carpet rolled out for him, which of course would happen. It's happened for all the presidents. But so that's not the biggest thing. But the Saudis pledge $600 billion for investment for AI, BlackRock, Palantir, which we've talked about on the show, and more corrupt entities that the government does their bidding through. And I am just astounded that this is common knowledge. You think that they'd want to hide this. You would think that this is something that, no, not at all. No, they're proud. It's just, everyone's proud of corruption. I don't know what to say other than, okay, this is very bizarre. So 600 billion pledge from Saudi Arabia to invest into the United States. Why are we taking this money anyway? Lord only knows. I don't know why we would. And there's got to be more. But who are they investing it in? all the CIA-run entities: Oracle, Google, Datavolt, right? BlackRock, Palantir, Salesforce, Uber. Okay, all of these are controlled entities. And of course, Citibank, OpenAI, NVIDIA. So, gee, as somebody would probably want to ask, why? Anybody care to take that on? Anybody want to fill us in on this one? Hi, caller. Welcome to the show. Go right ahead.
Yeah, so sounds like you're reading off the membership roll of the Council on Foreign Relations, which is the front organization for the conspiracy in this country, the most powerful one. I want to talk about justice for a moment, and injustice. I'm going to the conversation you had with Dr. Pesta, and you also talked about it on your own. Now, we have a power behind the scene. We have a conspiracy. By definition, it's a criminal conspiracy to really create they're treasonous, they're abolishing America, and they're abolishing liberty. And so now they put front people up there. The presidents are front people. I agree with you, Dr. Pesta, on that. But when you have a criminal conspiracy, think of a mafia, and the Don sends somebody out to commit murder, a hitman. He kills people, and he's been given orders to do that. Or you can think of an army, the same thing. The soldiers are sent out to carry out orders. The crimes they commit, they're just as responsible for them and do the correct punishment for them, whether they were given orders or not.
Right.
So if you have an army comes through your neighborhood and they were given orders to kill everybody, do you not shoot back because they're just carrying out orders of people from behind the scene?
Right.
So a hitman for a mob should be executed is premeditated murder, or at least put in prison for life. And the same thing for presidents and congressmen and all the rest. And also, if we keep not looking at one factor, it's very important. They're constantly lying to us, deceiving us, and carrying out the agenda of the conspiracy, which is totalitarian one world government.
Right.
I can't think of a bigger crime than that. Well, so these politicians, you can't give them any kind of break just because somebody's telling them to do these things.
I don't think I'm giving them a break at all. Thank you. I don't think I am. I don't think anyone is. I think everybody listening is probably on board with the idea, thanks for the call, that this isn't okay. It's more than that, obviously. What understatement of the universe. It's not okay. There was a Saturday Night Live song, and it involved all your favorites when they first started, like Adam Sandler, and I mean, you name it, right? Rob, what's his face? Can't remember his name. Anyway, they were all doing a song kind of like We Are the World, and this was in the 90s, and it was about Whitewater, because he mentioned Clinton. It was about Whitewater. And it was going through the whole Whitewater saga of criminality. And the song chorus kept saying, it's just super overcomplicated, but we're singing about it anyway and trying to explain it to you anyway. That was kind of like the chorus of this We Are the World song that they were all impersonating these big singers. And I was laughing just because of the fact that we've had this stuff going on in our face for so long. And I know we're sort of war weary from it. I get it. It's like taxing, right? It's enough. It's good Lord. It's hard to wrap your brain around that Saturday Night Live is going to sing a funny song about it when we're talking about death, Vince Foster. We're going to talk about criminality. And I mean, with the different presidents all along the way, there was always something, and we as a people, well, we just need to wake the hell up. I don't know what else to say. That's the only thing I have for you guys today. Seriously, that's my statement. Wake the hell up. That's it. All right? Oh, and of course, be faithful, be fearless. I don't know what else to say today. Oh, gosh, it's right in front of us. All right, you guys. See you back.